Video game music today is more popular than ever among musicians, composers, artists, and video gamers alike. In fact, video game music composition has become a full-time occupation. But why is it popular? What makes it so appealing? Well, video game music uses musical techniques to appeal to specific emotions within a player. Some of these techniques include, but is not limited to, chromaticism, diatonic phrasing, dynamics, mode, syncopation, intervals, tempo, key, music style, time signature, instrument choice, ornaments, chord progression, chord structure, key change, rhythm, melody, melodic variation, and harmony. Use or absence of these many techniques can give the music different sounds for different games. Today, I want to talk about the positive side of that concept and talk about how the use of some of these techniques enhance gameplay for the video game player. The first technique I want to discuss is the interval. Intervals are really simple. A typical piano keyboard looks like this, and I've notated them so that you can see how we musicians notate the different notes. Using the letters A through G, we assign each note its own name. Then, on a separate sheet of paper, we use what we call a staff to indicate which note is to be played. Now, the interval is defined as the difference in pitch between two notes. For example, the difference between F and G here is just one step up. This particular interval is called a major second. Another example is from C to E. This one is an interval that we musicians call a major third. You can make intervals as large as you like, even having intervals of 11 or 15 if you so desired. Although by that point, we start running out of clever names for them. Let's compose a simple melody. C, D, G, A, G. There are two main intervals in this melody that I would like to point out. The first is the major second, which I briefly mentioned earlier. There are three major seconds in this melody, one from C to D, another from G to A, and a third one back from A to G. The other interval in this melody is the interval from D to G, which is an interval that we call the perfect fourth. Okay, so what do these intervals do for player enhancement in video games? Well, the major second interval is important for carrying a melody somewhere. Composers use seconds to progress the melody and bring it somewhere without jumping all over the place with large intervals. Too much jumping can throw a listener around for a loop, and they won't really be able to follow the main melodic idea if it's not smooth or consistent. That's why seconds are a very helpful and important interval in video game music composition. The perfect fourth is an interesting interval in music composition. The perfect fourth is not found in the natural harmonic scale, and so it could be considered unnatural sounding. What that means is the fourth doesn't really provide much for dissonance or consonance, dissonance being sounds that are tense and clashing, and consonance sounds that are smooth and that complement each other. The perfect fourth, therefore, can be used in music to carry a melody forward quickly without sacrificing the tone of your composition. There is a third hidden interval in this melody, and that is the perfect fifth from C to G. The perfect fifth is a very important interval to video game music composition. The perfect fifth carries with it a heroic and adventurous sound because it's the farthest note away from the tonic. Now, the tonic is the home note in the key of your composition, and the fifth would be the middle note of that key. So this interval, the perfect fifth, sounds heroic and bold because it's so far away from home. Examples of the perfect fifth can be seen across the board in video game music, but some prime examples of its use can be found in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time's Hyrule Field, Super Mario 64's Battlefield theme, and even in Final Fantasy VII's Heroes theme. Even though intervals hardly scratch the surface of all the techniques and strategies that are implemented in a piece of video game music, they are nevertheless important. Hopefully this sparks an interest in learning more about video game music composition techniques and how they enhance player experience. Thank you.